Yeah. No. Because we hadn't done that north part in a little while.
I was just curious. It was just a curiosity question.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Hancock County Board of Commissioners to order. Today's date is March 3rd, 2026, and it is 8:03. This meeting is being recorded and streamed for public viewing. By participating, you acknowledge that your image, voice, and comments may be captured and made publicly available. This meeting has been properly noticed in accordance with Indiana Code 5-14-1.5. Let the record show that a quorum of commissioners is present. The commissioners are open for business. We will now proceed with the agenda. At this time, I'd like to invite everybody to stand and pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did I get a motion to approve the minutes for 2/17/26? Okay. Second?
Second.
Okay. We got a motion and second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And I need a motion to recess.
Motion to recess.
Second.
Motion second is available. All in favor? Aye. So be it.
Something changed since I was gone.
Okay, I will open the March 3rd Drainage Board meeting.
I've been here since first year.
First agenda part, approve the February minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the February minutes of the Drainage Board and the Cranberry Mutual Drain hearing minutes.
Second?
Can we do that in one? Okay, been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from the February meeting and the Cranberry Mutual Drain hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
All right, so we're going to start.
Go for it.
We're going to start with number 8. So this is Gateway Park. So it's up on the screen there for you. So it'll be number 8 in your packet. This is the area that is just south of John Laughlin Drive, the area that's right here on the map that you're seeing. Right now, it is platted as a drainage easement that's through there. The hospital has came in and they are going to develop that area for what's there. So there is an existing pipe, as you can see here in the red, that is running through there, and they need to relocate that around. So they want to vacate this part of their easement to move it around. They have some renderings here of what's going to go there. The other building for tenants that is there. Clinic area for what's there. Going to be pretty nice for where it's at. So here's a rendering of where the building's going to be. This is where the line is running right now. It's running right through where the building's going to be. They want to move it around, and that easement will get recorded when the lot is replatted. But at this time, they would like to vacate the easement that is there right now on the north part here. So that way, drawing here, they'd like to vacate that so they can replat this and go through and do that. And since it was approved as a regulated drain, they are coming to this board to do that. They're asking to vacate a portion of the regulated drain.
When you say a portion, how many,
So the area in red here is what they're looking to.
but in feet, I guess, I'm asking. Or is
It's
it
an
in
area.
total?
It's an area because when they did it, the whole lot was a regulated drain easement. It was an easement. So they are getting rid of the north part of that and then rerouting the pipe that is going around there. Would you like to speak a little bit? Okay. And this is Harold Gibson with the hospital.
Good morning.
Morning.
Appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate being here as well. On behalf of the hospital, we are here asking this morning for this vacation and relocation. It's not something we plan to have done. It's about 200 feet of existing pipe. We have an opportunity to add to the campus a medical office building. And at the same time, our campus is also planned in the future for a second hospital for the county. So we would like to preserve as much of that campus as we can, as we'll need almost all that 20 acres we have left. But in order to build the building, we chose the place that's most out of the way. And unfortunately, the place that's most out of the way is our entrance there to the south. And we had never planned for a building at this space, obviously. But in order to do so, it'll necessitate relocating, not eliminating. It'll just necessitate relocating that storm drain and rerouting it around the site, and then vacating the variable drainage easement that was platted for the common area. That's a part of that we're using as well. So two things: relocating the drain and then vacating the part of that variable drainage easement that isn't going to be needed. So that's essentially it. Does that answer the question? It's just a couple hundred feet. Drain won't go away. It'll just be moved.
I've got maybe a technical question for you, Harold. Where are you going to relocate it to? Do you have those
here's
plans
the-
yet?
The black and white line,
Is that where it's
dashed
going?
line will be the new drain.
Yeah, the old
And-
drain is right here.
Yeah, the old drain is the dashed line.
So is that all one parcel still owned by the hospital?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do that at a public meeting without having to have a public hearing, since it's on one parcel owned by the hospital.
Make a motion to approve the vacation of the regulated drain there at Gateway as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the vacation of the easement for the hospital as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
All right, thank you, Harold. Let's just go down the list now. Number 2 claims. Approval of claims for 218 and 34. As you can see, we've been brushing and dredging as we go through there. Stansbury Schultz, Charles Breyer, Daniel O'Hare, Marshall Trees, Thomas Miller, Buck Creek Upper, and then some other things that we had to do as we went through there. We had one outstanding bill for the Stansbury and Schultz, and then that's where we're at for our claims.
I'll make a motion, we approve the claims paid for 218 of 26 and 34 of 26 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the claims for 218 and 34 as presented. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
We have a couple of encumbrances for the drains. Daniel O'Hare, we had a couple of encumbrances on that ditch. And then the Thomas Miller, we had one big one that we had for the brush and dredges that we had.
I move that we authorize for encumbrance for the Thomas Miller regulated drain in the amount of $18,000.
Second.
Can we do them all at once?
You want to do them all?
I don't care.
Yeah.
You're in charge here.
Well, I think we can do them all in one motion.
Okay. Also, including the Daniel O'Hare regulated drain in the amount of $831, and the Daniel O'Hare regulated drain in the amount of $1,147.
And
And the Daniel O'Hara regulated drain in the amount of $2,426. And the Adam Wilson regulated drain in the amount of $360.60.
second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the encumbrances for the Daniel O'Hara and the Thomas Miller as presented, or is there another one that we have?
It was the Adam Wilson.
and the Adam Wilson. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
All right, let's go to number 4. So this is a variance to daylight. So this is for the John Marin minor sub. This is 50 East, just south of State Road 234. So here's State Road 234. Here's 50 East. Sugar Creek is at the back of their lots that runs back down through here. And lot we're looking at is right in here. Sub, you have one house here, and then they're putting. There you go. So there's the house here, and then they're going to put a lot here and a lot down here. And what they have Sugar Creek behind them, and what they want to do is flat here, like to daylight their drain on your list for lots 1 and 3, back to the ditch. Goes back here, and it'll let the fall of the ground take that back there, so they don't have to run a tile all the way into the floodway, and floodplain all the way back to the ditch. Variance to daylight. Parent track is in the middle. They have to cross that parent track. Tile there, so they're daylight south of the floodway line. And I don't see a problem with that.
They're putting 3 lots in there and they want to daylight it and the creek's right behind them.
Correct. Well, they're daylighting it to the creek. They're just not taking it all the way to the creek for where it's at. It really drops off back here in the back corner. I mean, it drops off probably 9 or 10 feet before you get to the creek, right in the back. So they just want to run it short of that and then just drop it off back there.
And there won't be any water backed up or
No.
Will each one of these lots have their own outlet?
One
Each?
house on each. What were you asking, Steve? I'm sorry.
Say that again.
What were you asking?
They're putting 3 houses on that one lot.
Well, there's one house.
There's one house already there.
There's one house already there. They're putting a house to the north and a house to the south. And so they need a tile by code or on their lot. And so these are off their lot. And so they are having an easement here, and they're going to daylight the tiles here. And then the ground is just going to take it back to the creek for where it's at. I mean, it drops. You're at 880, 868 here, and the creek is all the way down in the around 860. So you're dropping a good 9-10 feet for it to get back to where it's at.
So they will take it back to where it is dropping?
Yes. Yeah. They're taking it back to where it drops off, where it goes back.
So is there going to be one for each residence?
So one for the north one that they're building and one for the south one that they're building. The middle one is already existing. There's a house that's already there.
Is
it
that,
daylighted?
is that tile daylighted?
It's an existing lot, so I have no idea what theirs is from that standpoint. You don't have to do anything with the house that's already there.
I understand that. I'm just asking for what has.
I do not know from that standpoint. So if they know.
That tile is daylighted, yes.
Okay, yeah.
I make a motion, then we approve the variance to daylight request for lots 1 and 3 on the Edgar Osborne regulated drain, John Marin Minor, sub north 50 east south of State Road 234 as presented by the surveyor.
second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the variance to daylight on the Edgar Osborne regulated drain for the John Marin minor sub at 50 East and 234.
There is, by the code, there is a $250 fee for that as well. So whether you're
$250
Per lot.
daylight.
per lot, yeah,
Okay.
per daylight. So that's if you want to.
But that,
So
but
the
that's
fee-
already,
The fee's included unless, in the motion, it's waived.
unless we delete it.
Unless you waive it.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Good, all right. Yep. All right. Number 5 on the list, when we brought our contracts in at the beginning of the year, Banning was a little slow in getting us an on-call contract. So bringing that to you now, so an on-call contract to use Banning Engineering. We used them for the Stansbury and Schultz ditch earlier this year. We used them for a number of projects sometimes throughout the year. For what we use, and so there is a contract there with the fees on the second page for on-call services for design and things that we may need throughout the year.
Did we approve these prices already, or we?
No, this is a
seeing
new,
for the
this is their new
first-
contract for this year.
first-
So, yeah, we did Burke and we did DLZ, and then we also do Banning. We use all 3.
So how much of an increase is these fees over a year ago?
They're not very much. Some of them are $10 an hour, $15 an hour, but they're all by the hour, so as they work through. Just like everything in life, Steve, it's getting more expensive as things go up.
Except some things.
Yeah, yeah, most things. Most things you have to pay for.
Make a motion to approve the agreement for Banning Engineering for on-call services and the hourly rates that they have presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the on-call services presented by Banning Engineering and the rate structure. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
All right, number 6 is classification of drains. We talked at the last meeting a little bit about some of the duties that I have as the surveyor. One of them by mandate is to go through the regulated drains that we have on record in the county and to classify those drains as either on maintenance, reconstruction, or to vacate them. And so as you look through there, on record, we have 315 total drains in the county that have been through the courts for where they're at. There are 169 active drains. Some of these drains are drains that had been vacated or are moved or combined into other drains from when they were first brought up. If you look on the left on the column that says notes, the ones in yellow are ones that we had talked in previous meetings that we are assessing right now to verify that they're there and then starting to set up whether to have hearings on those because they were ones who were created before the 1965 Drainage Act. And so they were created as regulated drains, but there was no assessment given to them. And so as we classify them, we have to classify them either as on maintenance, needing to reconstruction, or to vacate them. And if they're not on assessment, we can't maintenance. And so most of these drains have been taken care of by the landowners for where they're at. So we will be, as the year goes on, we will be bringing some of these to you to have hearings on them as we work through those. And I imagine a number of them will end up being vacated from that standpoint because the landowners are used to using and taking care of them, and that's what they'll decide to do. We may have a couple that decide, hey, we would like to put it on assessment and go from there. But have to create a watershed and walk through the whole step of it as we have that hearing and then go through there. But this is the classification of drains that we have that are there. And any questions on anything that we have? It's a lot of names and a lot of different things in a lot of different places, so.
So there would have to be a hearing on each one of these?
So the ones that are,
Vacate them.
yes, if they're not on assessment and we can't maintain them, so they're kind of it's a regulated drain in name only from that standpoint. And the way we've handled that in the past is if they're going to do work on them or something else, they still come to us to get permission for what's there, but we can't pay for any of it because we don't have any money to take care of that. And so the question then becomes, Okay, should it still be a regulated drain, or should it stay as a mutual drain, where it's at?
Do we as a board decide that?
Yes, because we have to, well, ultimately we will, because we have to decide whether we put it on a maintenance for what's there. So that same thing as we run through before, send out a watershed map. This is what's going to cost everybody to maintain it. This is where we're at. Then the people will come and say, hey, we want that to be that way or don't want it to be that way. And then if you decide, hey, we're not going to put it on maintenance, well, if it's not on maintenance, and obviously it doesn't need to be reconstructed, then we would vacate it and turn it back into a mutual drain.
So the best example is the one we just had recently, the public hearing where the drain was in the county highway, ended up coming up with some money, but none of the landowners had been assessed. So even if you're going to assess it, you have to have a public hearing, or if you're going to vacate it, you have to have a public hearing. So it's just something that should have been done years ago. We're trying to.
Okay.
But some of these things, I noticed a couple in here where there's probably some that are not on assessment that should be on assessment, that in the future, that's going to be more important.
Yes, and so as we talked at the last hearing, if it becomes a regulated drain now because of the new, from the 65 Act and then on, if it becomes a regulated drain, it automatically goes on assessment. Okay, so if they petition the board now with a new one, it automatically goes on assessment, so we don't have this issue. And so that's going to be the other issue as we get back to is, okay, it's a tile that's kind of breaking down, it's where it's at. If the landowners choose that they don't want it to be on maintenance and the board agrees with them, right, the board always has the choice. Even if the landowners say, we don't think this needs to be on assessment, but you think as the good of the group, of the area that's there, that it needs to be on assessment, you can still do that. I mean, that's the power that you have. But not saying where the political winds of all that fall out, but that's just how that works. But from that standpoint, if you choose and go with the landowners and say, we're not going to put it on assessment, then we have to vacate it because there's no sense in us, we can't maintain it. It's really just a mutual drain.
Okay, so if we vacate it and 50 years down the line,
They will have to walk back through the process to make it a regulated drain again.
it can always be brought back.
Yes, always
Okay.
can be brought back from that standpoint.
My biggest
Any
exam-
mutual drain can be brought back.
The biggest example I see in here is the Wilson.
The lower.
The lower part is not on assessment,
Correct.
but the upper two parts are.
Correct.
And there's more water, more people, more drainage.
Absolutely.
And those people didn't want it 40, 50 years ago.
Correct. And that's an open ditch. Absolutely.
But now it may be a different
It
situation.
may be. Absolutely. And you know,
So just to say a blanket thing of we need to walk away is not, in my mind,
absolutely. And, you know, from that same standpoint, there are landowners there who do a good job of taking care of that lower for where it's at. And there are some areas that it doesn't. And so, absolutely. I understand that completely. And that's probably the part of my job that doesn't make it easy.
well, I
Right.
mean, nobody's going to want to pay more money if they don't have to.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. And so you just got to kind of walk through that tightrope as you walk through that tightrope. So I agree completely. Yeah, the lower is one of those ones that we've always dealt with on there from the WF Wilson, and also the one off of 2 West that's just south of, 4 South. You know, it stops right there and doesn't go south. Ditch does, but we don't maintain it. So there's a couple of Thompson Hampton on the way. So absolutely. So this is the report that I put together for this year, just understanding that as we work through this list, we will probably be having more hearings and more things from that standpoint to clean this list up. It's just what we have to do from that standpoint. Some of them I think will be easy calls. Some of them will be more difficult calls for where we're at. But the joys of serving. So that's where we're at. So I don't know if they have to, I mean, it just says I just have to show you to present to the classification of drains. So I don't know, I don't think they have to approve it or anything like that, but that's where that is at from that standpoint. So this is always in our office. So if you have any questions, the other side of this is from the drainage board, you can, as you look through this list, and some people will have more of knowledge of these drains than other people. If you believe a drain that's on maintenance needs to move to reconstruction, you can come in and say, hey, or at a hearing and say, hey, we should put this on the schedule for reconstruction. Okay. And, you know, I got a call here last week. We talked about one that we've had on the list, no Hollis. And, but you know, there's ones that need to go on reconstruction. If you think, then we could put those on those lists. And I mean, if the board believes we should move forward with going through a reconstruction hearing on a drain, the board can stipulate that. It doesn't always have to be landowners to do a reconstruction. Okay, just information from that standpoint. Okay. Any other questions about the classification of drains? All right, we're going to skip 7. We'll do that at the end. That'll be our little bit of our education point that we do. So number 9. So we are on 600 West. So this is across from the new Walmart building on 6 West and 5 North. Out 5 North. So this is this building right here. Well, this at GDI building that's right here. And so it was bought by Walmart, and they are doing expanding parts of the building and things that they're doing there. And so I'll bring both of these so you can see both of them here a little bit better. Here's the building, and this is the way that you can, okay. So here's the little pond in the corner, and this pond here on the side. So that's this little pond here, and this pond that's here. So they had to add some parking in this area right here. So they had to get rid of some of this pond to create parking. And what they are proposing is to do underground detention in that area where that pond was. Here, there, and to make that easement bigger that runs around through there. Now, this is not a, this is an easement for access for us to get in if something is clogged for where it's at. These are not regulated drain easements, but these are the easements that come before the drainage board if we need to maintain the structures that are here because they're backing up that comes through there. So they're looking to alter this easement that is currently in the little red that's just around this pond, and they want to make it bigger because this area here is that, and then there's a little area up here to add, because they had to add 2 structures up here. So we, per our ordinance, one of the things that we do is we make sure that when they're doing a development that is private, that they put all of their drainage structures within easements. So that way we can get in and if we have to clear a clog or different thing like that, to keep the system moving from where they're at, because there's things that drain through, especially this site, they get down through there. So they are just coming to ask for permission to amend these easements, and they will record those documents from that standpoint.
How much are they wanting to re-amend the easement? I love your choice of words too, by the way.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Re-amend? I don't even know if that's a word, but that's, you know, it's kind of where it is. I guess it'd be amend. But area that they're changing here in the corner is originally the easement. Right. So this little line here is where it's at originally over. So they're only changing probably 20 feet, 25 feet on the outside of where this easement actually is.
So that is what we're looking at. The parking spots are going to be basically over the pond. Is that what I'm looking at?
There's going to be underground storage under there. So they're going to have
but
pipes.
right now, looking at the actual aerial footage, there's a pond there, right?
There is a pond there.
Okay, I'm looking at the right one.
Yes, right here. So there's
Okay.
it's kind of a drive. So there is some ground that's here. So they're not technically in the pond. They're kind of where they're getting rid of this drive that's here and creating a parking lot that's right here. So they're widening this area that's in here, and then they're creating underground storage in this area right here. Right here's the drive that runs through it, and they're just adding parking there on that drive and then putting some underground storage underneath of that. Because they're taking some of this grass and stuff that's on this end of the pond and going to.
And they're not affecting your ability to get to that tile at all?
No. And the only reason I would get to that tile is if it's backing up, because this pond that's here, okay, drains up this way, then it drains over this way, and then drains behind these people. And if you remember here about 3 months ago, we talked about a drain that goes this way and it actually catches this subdivision that's all the way up here.
You say only if you need to get back there. I mean, it's a regulated drain, right? So we have to maintain it.
It is not a regulated drain. So
Manfred
the
J is
regulated
not?
drain is this here. That's still a private tile that's there.
Oh, I know that. You're not affecting the ability to access the Manfred J.
Correct.
Okay, that was my question.
No. They're out of the Manfred J. It's so if something upstream is not able to get to that from off of their site or through their site, and that is what's clogging. This is one of those issues that we talk about where they're getting to the regulated drain, but the easements that are running through there to get to that are not regulated drain easements, they are private.
Right.
Because if we made them regulated drain easements, then we would have to maintain the ponds, and we don't want to maintain the ponds.
Right. I'm with you.
Okay?
And the easements are just moving. They're not,
Yes.
they're not reducing. Or
They're not reducing, they're actually increasing the easement a little bit from that standpoint.
You have no problem with the underground?
I don't have any problem with it, no, it's actually, I'm glad they came to us with that, so that way, everything that's in there is still within that easement. And, you know, part of the question was whether this needed to go to the commissioners or the drainage board. They named the drainage board in the way that they're doing it, which is fine. Either way, I'd be the one who's maintaining that anyway, so.
I move that we approve the change in easement for the GDI property as presented and approved by the surveyor.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we change the easement on the GDI property at 6437 Enterprise Drive. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, so next, let's go to number 10. So this is a new house build on 800 West, just south of 200 South. So we are on this lot that is right here on this drawing. As you can see, the regulated drains are on. There are no regulated drains here. Box Cove is over in this area. You can see a little bit of drainage that runs through here. They're going to put a house on this lot here. There is a tile on the north side of this line here that runs through, but it is a 6-inch tile that runs through there. So by code, if they do not have an 8-inch tile on lot, then they have to come before the board and ask for a variance from a tile that is an 8-inch tile. And so that is why we are here.
Any idea where the 6-inch tile outlets?
Yep.
Have you looked at it?
Yep, I have it. It's on your drawing that's there. But I will, I think it's number 10 that we're at. Yep. So the 6-inch tile is along the north line up here. So if you,
But we have no idea where it outlets.
it runs to the west. So it runs
Marion County's problem?
Marion County. And so the way that we look at it from a standpoint is the tile in good shape and is it working? Right? From that standpoint, then it's theirs to figure out if it is, you know, don't really care where it goes from that standpoint, that if it's working in good condition and it's a good tile, then they have an access to use that, a right to use that tile for what's there. So it's a 6-inch field tile. It runs to the west. It's right there along their north property line. The house is going to be here.
There is a little ditch just not very far west of the county line road there.
Yes, there is.
I assume it goes to that, but
Yeah,
I move that we approve the variance to use 6-inch tile for Waterman at 2149 South, 800 West.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the variance to use a 6-inch tile for the Watermans at 2149 South, 800 West. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, now we're going to go to the complete opposite side of the county. So we're going to go to the Smith, Kitterman, and Kronk, which is 234 up by Shirley. So about 1175 east. So there is a structure that is underneath 234 that runs through there. County Line Road. So if you remember in the spring of this year, this is one of the areas when we had our flooding, that this field that is here, and there's some grain bins that are over here that are owned by the Wiseharts. Water was all the way up in here. Okay, but this structure runs down through here for the Smith, Kitterman, Kronk that runs down through here. The state is going to replace that structure. So since it is a regulated drain, they are coming before the board to seek permission to replace that structure and to work within our easement. They will be just a little bit outside of where they're at, it's still within our easement, to do some shaping and things on this side. There's some water that runs down this way. We've asked for them to catch that as it comes in. On the north side, the structure is going to be, is going to be very close to the same size because they are restricted by the structure that is here, field structure in this yard, and then there is a structure that is underneath. Actually, we've opened this here. There used to be a structure here, but there's a crossing that is right here, a field crossing that is used to get back in, that Wiseharts used to get back into this field. The restriction used to be their old railroad, but we took that out. That's now open through there years ago. And it was an old railroad car that was actually in the ground there that they were using crossing. But I didn't want them to increase this structure that was through here because I was afraid we were going to get to a point where we were going to put these houses in danger if we made it any bigger. So they're leaving it at pretty much the same size. And 23-page paper. I'll just give you half. Here's the structure that's going to go in. Place in kind for where the one that is there. They have a couple power poles that are going to be removed around outside of our easement. But this is structure that they want to put in here outside just a little bit here as the shaping to bring this water in from this side. But here's the main ditch. It flows south through here. And so they are asking for right to work in the easement and to replace the structure on 2. We met on site with all the interested parties and things, and I put a benchmark in it, and I think it's good.
Move that we approve the state to work in the easement at the Smith, Kitterman, and Kronk at 234 and 1175 East.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we allow NDOT replace the structure at 234 and 1175 East. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
All right, almost to the end. All right, so number 12 is Brooks Edge. So we are Alford Road on the Mingle. So we are just north of Alford Road, or on Alford Road, Brooks Edge. Here's 9. We are just west of 9 here on 1000 North. Brooks Edge is Brooks Edge 1 and Brooks Edge 2 are subdivisions that are going in here, minor subs that are going in here. But we have a request from NineStar. They are looking to run fiber to them through there. And so they are going to cross the ditch right here, back for these lots. They are going to be 7 feet below the bottom of the ditch.
There been a request to cross the ditch with a bridge yet?
Yes, you guys approved that a long time ago.
Really?
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep. Yeah, last, oh goodness. Yeah. May of last year. Yep. For the plans, and there's working through the size of that to make sure it's the same size that's here, but this is for these that go through there. So 7 feet below the ditch is where they're looking to put their fiber in through there. Actually, you guys have waived the fee for NineStar, but that would have to be in the motion.
And we need a standard county hold harmless.
And they have a kind of, they have already signed one. Yep.
So I guess the only question is, are we still doing no fee for NineStar?
Yes, well, we have in the past.
No, we have.
I'd say we go ahead and do it.
Didn't know how big that bill was we were paying off.
It's
Okay.
big.
I think we, yeah, waived there.
I move that we approve the utility crossing of the Mingle Arm of the McFadden by NineStar, waiving the fee with a standard county hold harmless.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we allow NineStar to cross the Mingle Arm of the McFadden with, without the standard fee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
All right, so last thing for the group, we have started a series of discussions of, for kind of education for the board of things that the surveyor's office does and that the responsibilities of the board and the things that we do, kind of just bringing some light to some different things and where we're at. We also, our office from the state, the county is mandated to run an MS4 program, which is a clean water program, and we have to give an annual report for that. And so our office also maintains that. And so at this time, I'm going to ask Cole Rainbolt, who runs the day-to-day MS4 for us in our office. He's going to give you our MS4 report, and we'll go from there. If you have any questions, grill him away. You're good.
All right.
Here's this you want.
That's fine. Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
As Chad mentioned, my name is Cole Rainbolt, and I work as an inspector in the surveyor's office. A little bit of what we're going to go over today is going through our annual report, and then here, I will give this to
Yeah. Then when that goes to Corey, then she'll get them to sign.
Sorry, I'm not pulling pills out of my thing. I'm just getting some stuff that we do for our illicit discharge here. So, a little bit of the overview of what we're going to go over today. Main thing is what Chad has mentioned. We're going to a little bit go into what MS4 is, why is it important, and then as Chad mentioned as well, the 8 sections that we're going to go over, the state has given us that we have to regulate through our county and jurisdiction-wise, and so make sure we are all hitting all of those things in our MS4 program as well. So going straight into it, I asked the board here, do you guys know what MS4 is? By show of hands or anything like that?
Multiple separate storm sewer systems.
Very good, very good. I was hoping somebody would say something
It's a
like
government
that.
man.
But with,
there you go.
is that, to simplify that a little more, is basically keeping the clean water away from the sewer water, or necessarily the murky water away from clear water. And so what I do in my position is I facilitate and I manage and operate keeping our waters clean. And so with that, that kind of entails just with rivers, creeks, regulated drains, subdivisions, and just inlets that are coming out of into our streams. So with that, a little bit, the main thing of that we try to do is just protecting our streams as much as we can from the illicit discharge and necessarily other pollutions that can cause harm to aquatic life and just water maintenance in general. So going straight back into our next one here is a little bit more of our general information and who's all in our Hancock County Board. As we have here, Gary McDaniel, he is our MS4 operator, Chad Coughenour, which is our Hancock County surveyor, as well as our coordinator, MS4 coordinator, and then the application preparer that I have given Corey, she is the one that has prepared our MS4 annual report, and then for myself, Cole Ringble, I am the one that has gathered the information and provided it to you guys today. And so, as I was trying to search the web to find pretty pictures of all of us, these are the pictures that I kind of had in mind. So this is Mr. Gary McDaniel. I was going
That's
back
good.
to the
I had hair there.
archive.
I had hair there.
It's a very good picture, I thought. So
You just got a haircut.
looking back, trying to find as best pictures as we could. Then this is myself. And then going into the next one, we have Susan Botkin, Chad Coughenour, and then Donna Copeland as well. And this is an old picture they had a couple years past that they, well, the changing of the tides is what it is titled as. So going straight into our public outreach and education part of this program. So in this section, we had a total of 4 events during this time, or our annual period. And within these 4 events, we had about 13 participants that helped without our communities. And those are communities can include Cumberland, New Powell, Fortville, McCordsville, and we all work in as an MS4 entity for the Hancock County. And within these events, we had about 850 attendees. During these events, necessarily these can conclude booths and festivals, fairs and school education events. And so within those, the public outreach for the education part through the schools, we had Dede Allender, which she actually has a great job in helping us with our MS4 program with the collection events as well. But in these public education settings, she is usually one in the classroom teaching kids more about water quality control, prevention, pollution preventions and stuff like that. And within these brochures and handouts that we usually pass out to the fair events, I have a little bit of things that you guys can pass around of what we actually just look and give out to people as they're looking for ways to help our county improve with water quality control. And as you guys are looking through that, as I will just keep going through here, we had about 34 total attendees in our pre-construction meetings. And within my pre-construction meetings, what I do is I manage making sure that myself and Griffin Brown, we are part of the field crew chief. He is the field crew chief, and then I am under him as the MS4 operator. Inspector. And so what we usually entail in these pre-con meetings is I kind of just gave them the baseline of what MS4 is entailing, per se. And with that, I usually tell them keeping their inlet protection up, silt fence needs to be implemented before any construction starts, concrete washout needs to be on site, a trash enclosure needs to be there as well. Just keeping the site maintained to compliance and keeping it clean is the main thing that I want to try to get into before they start any work. And I'll get into it later into the presentation as well with a little bit more of what that pre-construction work kind of looks like as well. So with that, in the pre-construction meetings, we had about 34 attendees, as I said, but with that is industrial, commercial, and construction. The construction part is a little bit more of active sites that are being built onto. So over here on 200 West, we have the boulders of Sugar Creek. They have an existing active site that's going on right now, and they are actually building onto another section as well. I think it's section 3, yes, since that's what they are going into. So our next section here. So you guys may not know, but does anybody know what illicit discharge is? Takers? No? Okay, so I think we have all, maybe, I would hope so, had a time where we're looking into a river or necessarily a creek and you see soapy water or murky water or sediment build up a lot. And so what that is necessarily classified as an illicit discharge. And with that, what I do is I take samples from our regulated drains and outfalls, and I use this tube right here. And what I do is I test this water to make sure if it doesn't have anything like high ammonia, anything like that, phosphate as well, and then a little bit of nitrate as well. So, and if it does indicate that it does have high solutions of this material, I do have to contact then the health department, and then later on, it would be IDEM as well if it does get into that. But during this annual period, we did not have any illicit discharge detections, which is really good, making sure that the county is keeping up to date with keeping our waters clean. And with that, I only did about 20 screenings this past annual year, and I think within the annual reporting year, you have about, it's once every 4 years, you have to get the amount of outfalls detected. And so, I'm sorry, even what an outfall is necessarily a drain or it's just a discharge from a subdivision or a creek or a regulated drain that I go and outfall and I test them to make sure that they're all up to date and making sure there's no illicit discharge. Another thing is too, if visual inspections for illicit discharge, if you can see oil, if you can see soapy water, or necessarily if you can smell odor, you know that you have an illicit discharge on hand. So, going into section 4 here. Within this section, this is a little bit more of our construction phase. I know the highway department has about 20 projects right now that are including bridges and roundabouts. For our office that have active sites, there are about 86 sites, and those are things that I regulate and I visit regularly. And so I had about 411 inspections in this past annual reporting year. And within those inspections, these can include things just as visual inspections, drive-by inspections, walk-through inspections, in-person meetings with superintendents and contractors. And I usually just make sure that they have silt fence up, the site's very clean, compliance and everything, making sure everything's up to date with the MS4 ordinances. And with that, I had no enforcement actions taken, which is really good because as I was mentioning from our pre-cons, telling everything put in place beforehand, not necessarily having to have a enforcement taking later on, make sure that they're doing the right job. Our contractors and everybody in our active sites, they do a really good job of keeping everything up to date with the ordinances and MS4 particular standards. So, and within our office, we had only about approximately 7 requests for public information requests, and that's dealing with MS4 standards. And then we only had about 4 to 5 complaints that was also with the MS4 as well. So, and then going into our section 5 here, this is post-construction. So this is after what we considered active sites that are done with their things. And so during this section, we had 2 sites that were requiring MS4 standards again, and as well, we have to tell them put implementation back in. So considered maybe putting silt fence up, getting unnecessarily more seed and grass and sod put back in as well, and these are considered to be a little bit more BMPs as well. So in that too, we had 1 measure that was installed during this time period, which was a structural measure, which they needed to get it done. It was definitely something that was really needed during that time. And then during this time also, we had MS4 owned inspections as well. So these were 4 things that I will get into our next section, which is section 6, and I'll identify those and what we go over those with too. Section 6 here, this is the area of what we do as our housekeeping. Mainly our outfall repairs. We only had about 0 riprap jobs during this annual reporting period, about 10 brush and bridge ditches. These are our regulated drains. About 36.5 tons of collected stormwater system cleanings. And with that, that is just materials that were collected through the time period. And those are just collected through a vac truck and then taken with them as well. And then there was 2,700 gallons of collected materials from street sweeping. And within those, they are stockpiled at the highway and then they disposed at the Crossroads Eco Center landfill. So, and then we have 1 de-icing and salt and sand storage, and that's also located at the highway department. So going down into this a little bit area, so the facilities that are the 9 facilities that we own and operate as the MS4, these are considered to be the prosecutor's office, the memorial building, the courthouse, the annex, and some of them as well. But the 3 operated facilities that are requiring a SWIP are the highway department, the highway department, the jail, and then the shooting range as well. And once we get the Amplify going up, those will be also a SWIP-related facility that we will also have to look into. And as I did not mention before, I'm sorry, the SWIP is a prevention plan. It's the stormwater pollution prevention plan that is put in place for if something does happen at a site, they have the set standards enforced so they know what to do if something does spill on a considered a illicit discharge or some type of spill that is including oil or anything that's going into a waterway. So finishing up here into our summary. So during this time period as well, we didn't really have any changes that were reported to our jurisdiction boundaries. As you can see, this is the jurisdiction boundary as well for our county. As the purple are your towns and city limits as well, and the white is mostly where those outfalls are that I mentioned before. And so these are all the outfalls that are included in the white area that I do go and test, that I will be getting done this year as the fourth year is coming up pretty fastly approaching as well. So then I said as well, no new funding sources of expenditures this year as well, and then no modifications to the stormwater quality management plan this year as well. So some things to highlight in success this year were our contractors workshop and then our county collection events. So during our contractor workshop, we had about 40 attendees this past year. Those were all included in helping us help them learn about MS4. And so what that helped is that they know what the ins and outs of MS4, and we had a little bit more of an IDIM come in and talk about what they were looking for on their inspections as well as too. So it did help they didn't really have any complaints and necessarily enforcement taken this past annual year too. So, and then as I mentioned is the collection of county events. Dede Allender, she runs our county collection events. She does a great job. She has done a tremendous help for us, and she's setting up everything, hopefully coming up in the next couple months for our next county events. And I know she has a really good mass following that comes and delivers, or not necessarily delivers, just tries to get rid of most of those things that they do not need anymore. So, and the conclusion in here, and then finishing up. So I appreciate you guys giving me the time to speak to you guys for today, and I am asking for the approval and signature of Mr. Gary McDaniel, and I appreciate you guys' time, and thank you again.
Thanks, Cole. Any questions for Cole?
Did very well.
Well done.
Yeah. Pulling them out is like probably not the best thing.
All right. So if you have any questions about MS4 or you see something out and about, you can contact Cole in our office, can call our office for where we're at. But he does a great job. The crew does a great job of not only educating people, but helping maintain our waterways for where we're at in the county. So a couple of the old business in the process of waiting to hear back from Madison County for setting up a date to have a joint drainage board meeting for the BFHAM. So we'll have to do that at some point here coming up. I don't have any other new business. Any other new business from the group? Once, going twice.
We need a motion to approve this.
When he signs it, that'll do it.
Yeah, I think he just needs to sign it. Yeah, Gary, as the MS4 operator, he has to sign it. So just, and he's on the hook, and I get to walk away. So.
Thank you.
That's all I have. So
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn the drainage board meeting.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adjourn the March 3rd Drainage Board meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Still get the point. To this joint.
Thank you.
We're going to the next.
So whenever you do hear from Madison County, Chad,
what's that?
I said whenever you do hear from Madison County, we'll have to make new appointments to that board.
Yeah, 'cause we have to have
Call our meeting back to order here. Gary Poole.
Good morning. The first item I have on the agenda, Strand right-of-way amendment. We're going to remove into right-of-way purchasing on the 300 South and Meridian Road roundabout. So these are standard NDOT. There's a standard, we're getting grants on, it's a standard NDOT contract amount, so there wasn't any real negotiation on this, which was nice. But I'll bring it up. It is DES number 2301625. Modification to change the contract from, so it's DES number here, grant, project, to modify from this to this. And so that is our plan. We're paying 80% of it. We're paying 20% of it. They're paying 80.
I make a motion that we approve DES number 2301625 for project County Road 300 South and Meridian Road intersection improvement. The compensation change is from $414,210 to $533,460.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on the floor to approve DES number 2301625, increase to $414,210 to $533,000 and $460 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
As you're signing that, they are finishing the old jail remodel. We will sit down and meet with the, at some point, Gary, one of the commissioners will need to meet with us and decide about the next projects and the manner in which you want to pursue those projects in that area, or if you want to pursue them.
Just let me know when.
Will do. The question, you don't have to answer it today, but we need to consider it and probably have the answer by the April, is are we going to extend HCSS in 2027? That's the Hancock County Senior Services or the microtransit. Probably the commissioners need to debate that, talk to council about that, and talk with your colleagues in Greenfield and see if this is a service that the county wants to continue to participate in.
Last year, I think they put in
They did.
services.
They did.
And 76% of the ride share comes right from Greenfield. So maybe Gary can work with the mayor, come up with their.
So that contract is expiring, and we have exceeded the extensions on that contract. So we will
Okay.
need to re-engage certainly
with
by
the mayor.
April to get that done by the end of the year.
Okay.
I'm finishing the B10 and F10 reports for HCSS. We've been handling the administration of that. Ms. Rawlez has been handling a lot of that, and I'm handling it as well. So we are getting that finished up. I talked about the new procurements. We are working to the recent grants that we got. There might be some distress over 900 North, 600 West in the McCordsville area. I'll keep you appraised of that. Ms. Eden McCallop is considering whether that's geographically locked or not, fund-wise. I'll keep you appraised of that. That affects McCordsville and the TIF district more than this group, but I'll keep you appraised
Is
of
that
it.
the one that pulled back on it or whatever?
They may pull back on it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's inside McCordsville and they have some discomfort with that. Indiana Trails Grant is still running. I don't think we got any word back on that, Miriam. So we are still awaiting word back on that. I believe the concert event has been switched to 2027.
That it will be in that location.
Okay, but it's been moved. Bridges on 3 South and 4 South are closed for the winter. They should be opening late spring. They're moving right along. We've got the piers set on both of them. So they'll move right along. They won't be like a year-long project or anything. So I hope to get those open before summer break. Weather dependent. It can start raining cats and dogs any minute. You know, Mother Nature's strong. She only snows during rush hour and she only rains when we're trying to build something. So that's okay. We love her still. We probably need an executive meeting on development. There's a lot of development still going there. So I know Randy is here. There'll probably be some point when you probably need to talk to him and the council and make sure that everybody is synchronized on their ideas for development to some extent. There's been a lot of people talking, trying to reach out to my office about it, and I said that's inappropriate. I am the highway person. They need to coordinate with the executive body of the county and the economic development body of the county. So keep that in mind. I'm sure Randy will talk to you and try to set something up at some point. Road school 16th to 18th, so we'll have the meeting on the 16th here, and then I'll be up there. We are presenting on a lot of the municipalities and counties throughout the state are interested in a lot of things that you have been doing and the council here has been doing. We've made mistakes, but I think you guys have gotten a lot of things right and they are interested in it, so we'll be sharing some of that with them. And we'll be sharing a lot of things we did wrong with them too, because why let other people suffer twice? So, wet season is starting. No, it hasn't started yet. It's supposed to rain today. There's a lot of frozen ground still out there. I imagine the rainfall this week will cause a lot of flooding. There's no way. We grew up in Indiana. We know what the deal is. If it's really frozen, you get a bunch of rain right away. There's no vegetation down there. I assume Chad's gonna be very busy. We'll be busy. There's gonna be a lot of people, you know. Why is there water on the road? I'm like, there's not much we can do about it. It's flat. So, yep. Barring that, that is all I have for this morning. Anybody have any questions?
Nope. You got anything?
I do not.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mike Gibson.
Morning, guys.
Good
Morning.
morning.
Appreciate you getting me in. Means a whole lot. I'm here for some right-of-way dedications. First one would be Stephen Beatty, 721 West, 900 North, 2-lot minor subdivision. And we're dedicating some right-of-way there, if I get the right one open here. It's a 50-foot dedicated half right-of-way, 0.762 acres. 50-foot dedicated half right-of-way, 0.762 acres.
Yep.
Make a motion that we approve the 50-foot half right-of-way on 7.26 acres, Beatty,
.762.
.762. For the Beatty minor subdivision.
Second. We have a motion and a second on the floor to approve and accept the 50-foot half right-of-way on the Beatty minor subdivision to equal .762 acres. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you. Second one that I'm representing is the Jason and Jenna Sylvie minor subdivision located on North 350 West. 2-lot minor subdivision, and they're dedicating a 35-foot half right-of-way, 0.253 acres.
What was the acreage?
0.253.
Make a motion that we approve the Sylvie 35-foot 1/2 right-of-way, setback right-of-way on 0.253 acres.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor to approve acceptance of a 35-foot half right-of-way, .253 acres for the Sylvie minor subdivision. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same signs. Motion carries.
And the third one and last, you heard this one during the Drainage Board meeting for John Marin, located on North 50 East, just south of State Road 234. It's a 3-lot minor subdivision called Marin Minor Subdivision, 35-foot dedicated half right-of-way, 0.585.
Okay.
Make a motion we approve the Marin minor subdivision with 35-foot 1/2 right-of-way containing 0.585 acres.
I'll second that. We have a motion second on the floor. Any further discussion? Okay, we have a 35-foot half right-of-way equals .585 acres for the Marion Minor subdivision. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
HWC Engineering and MS Consultants Incorporated. I missed, I'm sorry. Hold on. Brian Brees.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
A little chilly out there, but
You never know what you're going to get, right?
so.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Got it. Yes, I will.
So with our insurance renewal, I feel like we've had a move to the partially self-funded program last year, and I was a little nervous up front, I'm not gonna lie. Took on a bigger deductible, $300,000 every claim being self-insured, but knock on wood, it's hindsight, we've had a really good year. And the pieces I gave you there with the highlighted, second page, I did a claim summary kind of over last year through, this was through February 17th, but had 51 claims. Our total incurred cost is $130,000. What we've paid to date from the third-party administrators, $34,000. So there's some reserves out there right now. Self-insured claims where we pay under 25, those are ran through the county here. We've paid 79. So our total combined incurred, now some of those are pending and we've disputed some, so some of that may go away, but our total paid out combined is $114,603. So we saved around $380,000 moving to the self-insured program. What we've paid out overall, even if you take the incurred and we were to encounter that worst case scenario, we're still coming out ahead on the self-insured program. I want to compliment like all the department heads. When we have safety meetings every other month, a lot of the reps that come in, and these are outside opinions, are like, we never go to any meetings with counties that have that many people in attendance. So being on the self-insured program, having all the support we have, the auditor's office, they do a great job. Sarah's on point. In the insurance committee meeting we had, I showed where the schedules are kind of like a living document now. So Sarah, I work with Sarah directly on that, and we kind of keep everything, which is good. The county, you guys have the ability now to go in and see kind of everything that's out there. So from a management perspective, we're on point. From a claims perspective, we're tracking well. The department heads being involved, and they're well aware of the self-funded piece now. I think I want to compliment Sheriff Burkhart and Gary Poole, two of our biggest departments. With our third-party administrator, Sean Monhout is our claims rep. We're able to dial in claims immediately, where before we would send them off to travelers, and they were they would handle it and then call us on follow-up questions. So I feel like we're kind of knives sharpening each other, because Sheriff, Gary, we just had a couple of different scenarios where they're settled quickly and we get them either closed or determine if they're, if we need to stay on them and they're legit, or if it's something that's just somebody trying to hit us up. So we've closed out quite a few that weren't really like a big target. So sometimes we get stuff that's not really even part of ours. We're getting those cleared off and closed out. So if you guys have any questions on the claims piece, being this is our coming into our first year under that new. Having questions on that? Okay. If we go to the first page, then what that is the renewals, the package and liability is through Lloyd's. The premium went up slightly there. There were some exposure increases, so part of that's that. We're at 495, 357 for the year on that line. On the property, this is all our buildings and such, our business personal property. That's at 206, 399. That took a slight increase. Inland marine or equipment, that took a slight increase. It's at 19,172. On our umbrella or excess policy, it went up to 288,025. And then workers' comp, our experience mod dropped, and it went down to a 0.88. So anything under 1, we get credit. And we actually got $32,000 credit just in that drop, or I'm sorry, 42,917 credit by going down to a 0.88 mod. So our work comp trends, we're tracking properly to where we got credit. That went to 224,024, and there was a difference of 18,510 in our favor. So that's savings over last year. And then on the cyber, it went up slightly. It went up to 27,752, and that was the numbers that we get from the county on your revenues. Went from 70 million and some change to 90 million and some change this year. So that was what drove that. If you think back, and we need to give Bernie props there. If you think back to when I started here around 21, our cyber premium was 65,000, and we didn't have anywhere near the coverages in the policy we have now. But with all of the vulnerabilities and things when we did scans and all the additional network, had 2 networks at one time that Bernie's tightened everything up to where we have better coverages, higher limits, and for almost a third of what it was prior. So I'm really proud of that number too for us. In the green highlighted area, I know we've been talking about the Amplify building. There's estimated premium and at 65,000. I have a tentative date of 6/1, but that can come down. I'm guessing that'll come down a little bit, but I kind of put it in there high just to be, honestly, it'll probably be in the 50 range at the end of the day, but
That won't be a full year either.
well, this is a full year.
That's a full year estimate.
But I don't have the underwriters, since it's a date kind of in June. We're still out over 3 months on it. That I had to give you an estimate on that. They haven't been able to give me a hard number just yet. But
I'm working on a meeting
Okay.
for all of us. That way we can
Perfect.
iron a lot of this stuff out.
No problem. I think the county, regardless, is going to be responsible for that piece, so that's why I included it here.
Okay.
And the other piece I gave you, being that we're on the partially self-funded program, we had to have a third-party administrator. So that agreement is outside of anything I'm connected with. It's really truly between you. But I got that late yesterday afternoon, and as I read through it, I'm like, okay, last year, this year, there's some changes. One of the main changes is Brentwood was acquired by Acrisure, and the new Acrisure contract had some variations in it. I talked to Scott earlier when the drainage board was going on in the hall, gave him both contracts last year's, this year's, and then I did some comparisons and I highlighted on one sheet, the back, or if you read through, it'll break down and explain. And I've shared that with Scott. I sent emails to all of you on that. Again, I didn't get it until yesterday afternoon, so I couldn't put it in the packet for today by last Friday, but I emailed it to you all this morning. That renews on 3/10, or it expires 3/10. If you didn't sign it, it goes month to month on our current one. But the new one, I felt, between you and Scott, read through it and make sure if you go back to Acrisure and just say, hey, can we get closer? I like the wording on it last year. One of the examples was just training. They had a higher cost on that. They had some incidental, like some small bumps on some of the services, which were okay, but it's all completely broke out in that sheet I gave you. There aren't any questions, then the only thing I would need to do are get signatures from Gary on a couple different documents, and then that would secure the renewal for us. Again, I said, been around this account now for a while, and I was really happy with our renewal numbers. County's grown. We had a little bump in premium, but I mean, we were at 1.197201 million last year, and to come back 1.26729 this year for a difference of 63,000, and we've had growth. I mean, that's awesome. So our self-insured piece, I think all of us are working together on that. Janine has been integral. Can't forget Janine. She's been in all the safety meetings. She's been our risk manager, kind of step in and took those reins. We're all kind of clicking together. So,
Brian, do you know if our insurance committee people are getting this information as well so they can take
I met with them
it?
Thursday.
Yeah, we met Thursday.
Great.
And shared that.
Brian?
Yes, sir.
I think the commissioners are of the mind that we would like Acrisure to, since they purchased Brentwood, would like the same deal that we have with Brentwood.
Grandfather's in.
Yeah, exactly. So they need to be.
They knew it was there to begin with, so.
Yeah.
So I'll talk to Don Dickerson. That's one of those pieces that I'm not.
I understand. But Don needs to, maybe you can, that would be our direction, Don.
I'm going to push it on. That's why I gave you what I gave you. I'm county. I'm not Acrisure.
Can you make sure that
Don knows.
and Scott Binky has Don's contact information?
Yes. I'll put an email together with what, I told Don I'll present it, but I'm going to show what I received, and then gave you guys my
We
recommendations.
don't have a lot of time to respond, but we need Don to act like now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll send that as soon as I get back to my office to Don.
Do we need a motion to re-sign the papers?
I would make a motion that we approve signatures for Hancock County, our self-insured liability, commercial property, inland marine, umbrella, workers' comp, and cyber insurance premiums for the 2026-2027 premiums.
And what, signed by the Commissioner President?
Yeah, signed by the Commissioner President.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on the floor to allow the Commissioner President to sign the renewal for the insurance as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Do you have time to sign them now? It won't take us but a couple of minutes here.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, well, this is my last year, so we're wrapped up.
How's he doing?
ready to take a break. It has been.
Should make mention also that our stop loss is going to be from 910,000 to about $1 million, so.
Okay.
Because we will not have a commissioners meeting, Accusure Brentwood contract is due. To make a motion to approve Gary's signature on that contract once it is deemed appropriate by our county attorney and the agreements made, or how do you want to, how should we revisit that? Billy?
I think we do another motion just to allow
Gary to sign.
Gary to go ahead and sign, pending the county legal review.
I'll wait till he gets done signing so he doesn't have to do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
There's another one, yep. There you go. Thank you. All right.
And I make a motion that we allow Gary McDaniel to sign off on the Accusure Brentwood contract once pending legal review.
Second.
We have a motion and second on the floor to allow Council President Gary McDaniel to sign off on insurance once it has gone through legal review. All in favor? Say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
Janine, in our insurance meeting, we did discuss this. The only change on the deductible, they're 300 per loss. We had like a 905,000 stop loss last year. This year it is at $1 million. So if we hit $1 million, then the insurance picks up fully at that point. But that was one. Thank you, Janine, for mentioning that. I had it right here on my thing, but that was the one other thing on the deductible. But
You may want to mention to the other two commissioners about you have to identify a risk manager, and for right now.
so Janine and I talked about this. She's been kind of the interim risk manager, and so I'm going to move that forward until that position's filed or filled. So we have Janine listed as risk manager or contact for the county.
Okay.
That's good with the both of you.
Good with me.
Yeah, good with
Okay.
it.
Yeah, that was, I double checked just to make sure we didn't need to put anybody new. So, well, thank you all. I appreciate
Thank you.
Brian,
working
thank
with
you
the
for all
county.
the
Thank
hard
you.
work you put
Thank you.
into that.
Yes.
Thanks for taking care of us, Brian. We appreciate it.
HWC Engineering and MLC Consultants Incorporated.
Hey, thanks, Brian.
Big deal.
Morning. Okay, Mark, you want to start or what? Where are we going? Okay, go for it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. We've got these.
HWC.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see everybody. I'm Corey Weitzel with HWC Engineering, Vice President, oversee our landscape architecture, community development, and planning departments. With me is Caleb Rothenberger. Caleb would be the project manager from our team on this. Caleb's a landscape architect with prior experience, including at this site while he was with another firm on the jail project. Brian Sheehan's one of our client representatives on the project. We're excited to have a chance to be part of it. Be happy to answer any questions that you do have about our proposal. We did provide you a copy of that. That is in front of you right now. We've had a lot of opportunity recently to continue to build our relationship with you guys, working on the quality of life plan with the Community Foundation, helping with Ready administration, helping with the State Road 9 corridor plan. Both myself and Caleb were part of that team that worked on that project. We're also, just all of us are here based in Indy, close by, ready to work on this project. Be happy to answer any questions that you do have for us.
One thing I noticed between our two contracts, there was a large difference in the fees or the cost. Can you explain that? Because you guys were a lot lower.
So our prices, we stand by our prices on this. We've given you what you asked for in the scope, which includes full survey options. You'll notice our fee proposal, there are 3 different alternatives for survey work on this. This did ask for full survey, and so we did provide that. That's the larger number. For master planning only, the level of survey may not be necessary, and so that it would be possible for you to start with less detail rather than fully surveying this out. If it's going to be several years before you develop the site, you may not need to do that full survey right now. Maybe all we need for master planning is, you know, a high resolution aerial. It just depends on how quickly you want to move from initial planning to a specific action and development at the site, or how much level of detail you want to go into.
Corey, was there any planning that HWC did at the time the new jail facility was have anything to do in
I did not, but Caleb did.
Can you just tell us to what extent that part of the
It was in
plan
association with the jail development. I think we were looking at a number of different options of remodeling the existing jail, alternate sites, and the farm site we were looking at, you know, if we utilize this, how do we position that jail to allow for future development? So we did some very high level conceptual study looking at how either fairground elements could be brought there, the judicial campus, other commercial elements could be brought into the site. So it was kind of instrumental in trying to get the jail kind of pushed away from the road, knowing that other development could fill in to that space.
Is that the type of planning that could be reused, or is that something that if we, you know, do this all over again, you can't really reuse any of that?
It was about 8 years ago. And it was very high level.
Okay.
So this process is going to dive into a lot more detail, understanding more due diligence around the site, environmental impacts, taking what we know about the market in the area, the market in the region, and applying that to real life solutions.
I think what it also does, though, is because Caleb has worked at this site before, we knew what we were getting into on this. We're not pricing it based on unknowns. We're pricing it based on what he's seen before, so we're not guessing what we might run into on it and putting in extra forefront. That's why we feel comfortable with our numbers.
Yeah, I might add, I mean, what I gathered from the RFP was you're really looking for a springboard to develop a vision of, you know, what's some possibilities for the site. There's no reason for us to take it to the 10th mile before we land on, okay, what is an agreeable vision, before we incur a bunch of costs to a project before you really know the direction you want to head in. That, again, aligns with our survey alternates. The flown LiDAR will pick up a lot of detail. We can extrapolate any points or road alignments that we need from that. Easements and boundaries are also important, making sure we don't have any
unrecorded easements and doing title search on the property to make sure we have no unknowns there. So that's, you could get topo, but there's a good chance, if other development comes in, it'll be outdated in 4 or 5 years, and then you might have to go back and redo it.
Do you have anything?
I think this project, I think we want to move it along as quickly as we possibly can because we're just so out of room that, and it's going to take a while for all of that to take place. So we're anxious to get a move on, and we'll have a meeting with the committee that is working on this after the budget meeting first Wednesday of April. So we'll recommendations at that point.
Hey, one last question. I can't remember off the top of my head if this is in your study or not, but any environmental study that'll be out there on the site, I mean, my concern is that we've already been bit by the not doing an environmental study on a couple buildings that have just really become a thorn in our sides. Is there an environmental attached to that?
Back through and make sure I'm saying exactly. We do have our environmental team on this. David Boroff is part of their team to do that as a red flag analysis to see what environmental is needed. So we would look at it and decide if that's a surface level investigation for right now, what was done in the past when that was out there. So we'd like to research that before we go make our final recommendation on doing detailed environmental. In all likelihood, you probably need to update a phase 1 out there, and then that could lead into other things. But right now, we'd start with a record search of what you've done in the past, and then if there's additional environmental, we could go into it from there.
Okay.
We understand there's going to need to be remediation at the gun range, obviously. So we'll be able to look at some different alternates of how you can remediate that, different solutions. A lot of it may dictate about what kind of development we want to put there, how we approach that.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Morning.
Mark Forkham, MS Consultants. Full service consultant engineering. In our fee and scope, do you guys have in front of you what I gave you guys? Okay, fair enough. You guys have had it in the past. Our proposal is full service with the survey, geotech, engineering, get you to that end implementation point you want to get to. So that's what our proposal includes. Questions?
Gary mentioned earlier there was quite a price gap.
Yeah, so this includes environmental, engineering, survey, all the due diligence on your site to make sure that gets us the full information so then we can do the planning.
Bill?
And you, in your packet too, I noticed quite a bit of public input, public workshops, which I think lends itself to being as, transparent too. It's what we're trying to do.
Transparent.
Move out there is be more transparent with any of the kind of building projects.
It also includes some of the work you've already done on your committee and your other workshops you've already done, so we can implement that as well.
Was there anything in your study that also said, hey, we're going to do an environmental
It's included in that.
It is included. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any other.
Okay, we got the answers we need. We'll make a decision and get back with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you for all your work,
Yes.
both groups. We appreciate it.
You want to take care of some housekeeping?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the claims and payroll.
Second.
Motion on the floor to approve claims and payroll. Any further discussions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, same, no same call. I can't talk here. No, same sign. Okay. Motion carries. Auditor business?
Business that I have, voices for maintenance, elevators. We had an emergency repair that was needed for $16,380.38. And I'm making a recommendation that does qualify for your 2025 bond. We need to pay that. The bigger issue is we've got an invoice from Corey that they're seeking $149,451.96 advance payment for the elevator there at the
To be paid
courthouse.
forward.
To
And
be
we-
paid in advance, and there is the Indiana code, and I think I left that
Yeah.
code with you that
It'd
allows
be,
us to do that.
Indiana Code 5-11-10-1.6. It allows for advance payment, but it must have a motion to recommend that to the fiscal body.
Yeah,
The-
the council's gonna have
Yeah.
to say, yes, auditor, you can pay that, but you might wanna.
So if I could get a motion,
I'll make a motion that we send forward to the county council a favorable recommendation to pay in advance the services for the elevator in the total amount of 149,000,
that's half of it.
half of it.
Yeah.
451.96,
Okay.
and I would recommend the full amount eventually being paid out of there.
And the full amount eventually paid from the 2025 GO bond.
Second.
Second.
There's a motion and a second on the floor to recommend to council to make half of a payment, half total payment to Resurgent elevator service to rebuild the actual elevator in the courthouse. And that way we can go ahead and get that taken care of. Any further discussion?
It's based on an emergency.
Yes, this is emergency. Okay. No further discussion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
What's the total amount we're going to?
I
Full
don't,
payment.
I don't have that total, but the full payment for the actual elevator needs right at hand is $298,903.92. And then the amount of work that's already been done, the $16,380.38. I would like a motion to go ahead and pay that, because that's already been done as well. It's just a separate issue.
Make a motion that we approve payment of the work that has already been done to date on our elevator in the amount of $16,380.38 payable to.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to pay for work that's already been done by Resurgent Elevator in the amount of $16,380.38. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
That would be it for me.
You want to take a break?
We can go ahead and break.
Let's
before-
go ahead and motion for a break.
Make a motion, we take a
Adjourn.
brief recess.
All right, yeah, recess, sorry.
Second? Okay. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Call to order the meeting of the Hancock County Solid Waste Management Board. First item up on our agenda is a review of the minutes from February 3rd, 2026.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for February 3rd, 2026.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve our minutes from our February 3rd, 2026 meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Director's report and approval of invoices.
Okay, so in your packet, you can hear me, in the very last page, it's our budget report. So we paid out the contract for February. Office supplies, we purchased 2 trophies for our shoe recycling challenge that we had through New Pal Awards. We had our monthly Verizon bill in January's bill. And then we, under Talksaway, we paid for lunch for some of our volunteers that helped us collect all the shoes through our shoe drive. I purchased some plastic gloves through Walmart, and that's all of our invoices for the month.
Can I get a motion for?
Make a motion to approve the expenses, invoices as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the invoices as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. County Council report.
Okay, so I did make an appearance at the county council meeting last month. There have been some questions when I went through the budget hearings and everything that they weren't sure exactly what I did. So I wanted to make sure that I made an appearance and explained to them all that I do. I presented them with my 2025 annual report. And then also I gave you a second little paper clipped thing that a couple of pages of some of my accomplishments that I've achieved over the past 13 years. I kind of did this partially for myself, but also for their benefit as well, because, I just wanted to see, the impact that I've made on this county, and I wanted to review, what we've done over the past 13 years. So we have done a lot of different recycling, trying different things over the years. Some of these things are things that we are still doing. Some of these things are things that have kind of retired over the years. But we've touched on a lot of different areas as far as recycling goes. We've tried a few different promotions. I've done a lot of different programs, not just in the schools. I've done some, community programs as well. Offered a lot of different services there, education throughout the community. We've been awarded several grants, mostly over the last basically 4 years. And I'm currently working on 3 grants that I'm hoping to bring more money into the area. And then the next page, the back of the front page, are all my community partners. So with the budget that I have, it's very important that I reach out to community partners to help supplement the services that we're able to provide here in Hancock County. So I have quite a lengthy list here of community partners. I'm sure there's probably even more businesses on here that I've left off that probably also need to be included. But I just went through, spent an afternoon and tried to write down everybody I could think of. So I'm sure there's probably more people on there or more organizations that I've left off. And then the next page was some of the awards and courses that I've participated in over the past few years. And then a listing of the current projects that I'm working on, trying to figure out a solution for and trying to make those events happen as well. So I wanted you guys to have a copy of this as well so you could see my list of accomplishments. And I also did send over to be approved next week is a request for the allocation or appropriation of our remaining 2025 budget to be transferred over to this year. So they will review that next week. Okay, on to old business. The item tire grant, I had a tire recycler listed on our grant that that business apparently is under review through IDEM. So they contacted me and asked if there was a different tire vendor that we would be willing to use because they couldn't award us the grant using that tire vendor. So I was able to get a different tire vendor, and so they've updated our grant. I still have not heard yet whether or not we've been awarded that grant. So that's still out there, but we're still in the running apparently. The Swiffer grant, I have not heard any information on that. I know that IDEM's working on restructuring that whole process, so that's kind of, I don't know, it's put on the side. The Hancock County Community Foundation grant, I did get notification that they approved our letter of intent, which means that now I am officially been invited to apply for the grant. So that grant is due April 1st, and that grant we are going to apply for are for those trash and recycling containers for the Greenfield Parks Department. So that's good news. We're still in the process, but now I've got to work on another grant. So that'll be good, and I contacted the Parks Department, and they were pretty excited that we're able to move forward with that as well. We did our No Cold Feet Shoe Recycling Challenge through the schools. We had 8 schools participating this year. We did have to extend it out an extra week because the week that we had our challenge was the week we got that big snowstorm, and some of the schools were virtual 4 days out of the week. And so I knew we weren't going to get hardly any shoes with that being the case. So we did extend it out another week, and we brought in about 3,000 pairs of shoes that were brought in, and we actually brought them in this room right here. And then that was on a Friday, and then Saturday I had 26 volunteers that came in, some from the Fountain Church, some from the Eastern Hancock Athletic Department. The 26 volunteers, we came in here, we had tables all set up in here. We sorted through the 3,000 pairs of shoes, pulled out any that were not usable, needed to be just removed. And then we reboxed all those shoes up, separated them by men's, women's, children's. We did tennis shoes, we did boots. You know, we separated them out as much as we possibly could. And then we're still in the process of delivering those to Changing Footprints. They're being stored in a trailer right now. But that way it helps them because they're kind of struggling with volunteers right now and trying to get these shoes cleaned up and back on the shelves for other people to use. So this way we were able to help them out. And I had estimated that it was going to take us like 8 hours to go through all those shoes. And it only took us 2.5 hours. So we were out of here in record time. It was amazing. Everybody did a great job, and it was great. So we have another 3,000 pairs of shoes that are in our community ready to go back out to someone who needs them. So that was a really good program. My school program update, I currently have 89 programs scheduled. Most are happening the month of April. There are a few that start this month. And then I have also 89 classrooms that are wanting to participate in our flower pot project. And that's where I provide them with a pot, the dirt, seeds, and they grow the flower. They can plant it for Earth Day if they want to do it on Earth Day, but they can do it any time that they have extra time available to do that. And then the goal is that they turn around, the plants hopefully grow, and they can give them back to the students to take home for Mother's Day. So I have that already scheduled and ready to take place. State Board of Accounts and the retrack reports. There are several reports that, as a solid waste district, we have to submit before March 1st. I believe all of those have been submitted now, including the retrack reports, so we are good to go for another year. 2026 agreement with Greenfield Banking Company. That is in regards to our collection event coming up the end of April. they have agreed to provide us with the shred truck, and they're going to pay for that. They're also going to pay for hiring off-duty police officers to monitor traffic for the Park Chapel Church drives. So I have a meeting with them on, I think it's Thursday, just to go over all the final details of that. But I am super excited about that arrangement right there. That's another community partner where, you know, they're going to help us out, and it's going to be great. I did get a phone call from Republic Services, and they are wanting to partner with us. They feel like, you know, they have a nice transfer station set up. They want to work with us to somehow use that in other ways to kind of help with our collections, either recycling or, you know, hazardous waste. I'm not really sure how that's going to look right now, but it was a very good conversation, and I think it's going to be a good partnership there. There right now, I gave them some ideas, and they are working on those ideas right now internally, trying to figure out how they can make something work on their end. And then once they figure out their details, they will come back and talk to us and see what kind of a relationship we can form. But I think that's going to be a really good setup. I'm very excited about that. Now we get down to the director update. And so all along, I thought this past whole month, it was going to be over how we were going to handle, you know, the contract. But last week, we kind of ran into a different issue that needs to be resolved before we resolve the contract issue. So I contacted State Board of Accounts because we have the event fund, which is all the money we collect at our collection events. You know, when we charge the fees for the items that residents bring in, we collect a fee. And those fees have been put into an event fund. And it's to be used by the Solid Waste District for basically carrying out the plan of the district. So I was talking to them, trying to determine, you know, is that a fund that we can use the money from that to help supplement, you know, hiring an employee full-time rather than doing the contract? You know, would it be able to compensate for the benefits, or, you know, compensate the county to make that happen? Well, by making that phone call, they have started looking into our setup, the way the solid waste district was set up. And so solid waste districts were mandated back in 1991. And originally, Hancock County was part of a four-county solid waste district called the Three Rivers Solid Waste District. I believe it was Hancock, Fayette, Henry, and Rush, I believe, were the 4 counties. And about the late 1990s, early 2000s, it was determined that Hancock County was growing at a faster rate than the other counties. And so we felt that it would be better in our interest for Hancock County to become an individual solid waste district. So in 2002, plans were made to separate from the solid waste district, the Three Rivers Solid Waste District, and form our own solid waste district. And so I believe there was a resolution that was signed back in 2002, I think, that stated that we would be operating individually. And so State Board of Accounts asked me where the ordinance was that was supposed to be in place to set us up as a solid waste district. I searched through my files multiple times. I had the auditor's office searching through their files, trying to find this ordinance that set us up. And neither one of us were able to find this document. And I don't know if it happened and we just don't have the records, or if we lost the records. I don't know what happened to it. So Deborah is working on her end, I'm working on my end, trying to figure this out. And so the State Board of Accounts, I actually talked to them yesterday, trying to figure out, okay, what do we do at this point? Now that we can't find this ordinance, how do we move forward? And so she recommended, well, she said that State Board of Accounts is compiling a committee of like four or five people internally, that they're gonna review our situation and try to figure out on their end what the process needs to be for us to move forward. And at the same time, she recommended that we hire an attorney that can review the solid waste district, figure out how we want it to be structured, how we want to move forward, and maybe we can form a committee, that can work through this whole process to resolve these issues. I do have a contact for the attorney that's in Shelby County that has been the Shelby County Recycling District attorney for, I know she's been there at least 9 years, possibly longer, probably longer, but she knows solid waste district law backwards and forwards. She's been dealing with it for a long time. So I am recommending that maybe we hire her to look into our side of things to try to figure out, how to proceed at this point. Maybe we can include, Deborah and whoever else is interested in, hash through this whole mess. So that is my recommendation.
May I comment?
Yes.
And I've also been on some conversations, and we have been checking. We did find the 1991 ordinance that was established for the Three Rivers, and thank you to Robin, because I had to pick her brain a little bit, so I knew where to start there. And we have been audited off of the resolution that was done in 2002. And they've made reference to that establishing our solid waste district. But now all of a sudden I don't think that this resolution works for them any longer. So I also made a call to Greg Garatos, and I would think that this board might want to recommend to the commissioners to maybe include him on establishing the new ordinance, because that was his first recommendation, to go ahead and get that established very quickly. Again, I think years ago this resolution worked, and I think for some reason it doesn't work any longer. But we do have the 1991, and now I don't know, did you send that to State Board of Accounts?
I did not send the 1991 one, but I sent the resolution from 2002.
So we'll go ahead and try to send this 1991 today to them, just to see if that does help them at all. But I feel like I've already sent that once to them, but we'll do it again just to make sure.
Well, on behalf of the county, all of a sudden this is being thrust on us, and I don't understand that. First of all, I don't know why you called the State Board of Accounts to begin with. Can you tell us that? What was your call for?
So I was trying to determine the event fund, if that could be used to help supplement benefits for hiring an employee.
For you, to be used to pay you, or?
Me or the next person down the line, because apparently we were at an impasse with the contract. So I was trying to figure out another alternative and thought, well, maybe if we could hire an employee rather than having it be an independent contractor, that would resolve our impasse.
Well, you could be an employee, but you don't want to do that.
I didn't say that.
We discussed that. Besides, you wanted to be an independent contractor.
Well, I was given the option to either,
That's exactly what happened. Well, in any event, if there was an ordinance that originally established our solid waste district, which it now seems that that's accurate, 1991, that should be before the the State Board of Accounts, before they even start talking about forming a committee and all that. That to me is not necessary because there's an ordinance. Now, just because we decide to operate independent of those other counties wouldn't necessarily nullify that ordinance. And there's a resolution to that effect. So I'm not sure why this is being questioned at this point. I'm not the attorney for this, for the Solid Waste District Board, but I am the attorney for the county. And the county needs to be apprised of this situation, understand what's transpiring. But I don't think that makes any sense. So I think we better get that ordinance to them right away, as you suggested. Because I think that was enough and appropriate. I don't know what, you wouldn't necessarily do an amended ordinance just to say you were going to operate separately from the other counties. Whoever, I think Ray Richardson or whoever was the attorney at that time decided a resolution. So
I was a little confused as to why we've been audited off of that resolution and not an ordinance, and now it's a thing. But I'm pretty sure I'm not want to say that Mary Bomer sent that in 1991 because we were going back and forth. So I'll get that to them today just to see if that would alleviate this whole situation. Just double check.
Should. You know.
Yeah. Well, they're calling for an ordinance, not a resolution now, so that's why I wanted to make sure that we had this information today, just so that everyone's aware of it. So moving forward, it's not going to be, we can take action and make it right.
It sounds like when Dede talked to them, they were only aware of the resolution because you couldn't find the ordinance. So they've been under the misapprehension that there is no ordinance. Well,
we'll fix
until
it
you
today.
tell them today. So they've made decisions based on the idea there's no ordinance.
So will you go ahead and follow up then with the,
Absolutely, absolutely.
if there is any information to pass on, if you share it with Dede?
Absolutely.
So, so being that I'm kind of in limbo right now, due to liability issues with me being contracted through since I don't have my own liability insurance, I am very uncomfortable now doing school programs and actually running our event, which is on April 25th. So I'm not saying I want to resign, but I don't want to go out and buy liability insurance for a month and then, have it, not be used the rest of the year. I don't know what I was thinking, and what I was going to propose at this meeting was that I would, I only have, I have 2 programs before spring break, and then they don't start up again until March 30th. But I'm going to try to reschedule those 2 programs that I have this month and push them back till May until, we can get this whole thing resolved, and either I can get insurance or I'll be an employee and we can be covered under the county. But I was going to just let you know that I don't feel comfortable, doing that part of this position without insurance, knowing now what I didn't know before. So I just want to let you know.
Is there a way for you to establish just a temporary liability line until you figure this out?
It's possible. I can look into it.
I mean, I might talk to Brian Brees back in the back just about what that might look like, or if you have somebody else. I'd like to hear back from the State Board of Accounts.
One thing too, you are acting within the scope of being the director for the solid waste district. So I do believe the county would have coverage for anything you do in the scope of that work. So that's another point. I'm not sure, if you contract it individually, which is what we've said needs to happen, I think you would still have coverage through the county because you're acting on behalf of the county and this board in the scope of your duties. So I'm not sure that that's, real issue as far as your own personal liability, which I know you've expressed your concern about. And that was part of the reason you wanted an LLC. But I don't think I think the county would have coverage for that. Now, we can check with our insurance, but I'd be very surprised if there wasn't. So that might alleviate that concern that you have.
I mean, I don't think the commissioners would probably be opposed to covering her liability for that event.
But I think when she's in the scope of doing things on behalf of
Well, let's see where the ordinance issue lays. I'm just speaking on my behalf. Please pipe up if any of you have.
I'd rather wait till we get the ordinance, see how that works. I mean, because going forward, I think that through this whole thing, that we keep on coming up with different things, we need to get it ironed out, so.
Okay, so if the board has no problem waiting until we hear back from SBOA, we can push that off until our next meeting. Next meeting is in April.
We need a committee to meet with us, or do you want just Deborah and I to do it, or how do you want to
I would
handle
like
this?
to, I mean, if you say they're creating a committee at the State Board of Accounts level for this, I think we'd like to hear back from them as well.
Yeah.
And this is all very quick. I know that we've been, and several of my staff have been constantly trying to find this ordinance. So this just kind of transpired last week, and we've all been trying to find it. We did find the 1991, and I did think that you had that, so I apologize.
we may be able to preempt a committee formation and all that.
And we'll
by
get this to
getting the
them.
ordinance to them. I would hope so.
I would think that if we need to create an ordinance, we can do that by the next meeting. So.
And he'll be here tomorrow, too, if I need to have any further discussion.
Are you interested in at all in having that attorney from the solid waste district come in and go over this with us, or do you want to hold off on that as well?
I think we wait until what the finding is of the ordinance issue. But if we need deeper explanation into it, we.
Okay. And that's all I have, unless anybody has anything else.
No new business?
Well, the spring collection event is April 25th, 9 to 1. Usually I have already started advertising by this time, but I haven't, just kind of holding off just to see what unfolds. But I really do need to start advertising. Are you fine with me going ahead and advertising that?
I'm good with
Rest of
it.
the board good with that?
I will go ahead. Yeah, we'll get all of our final details in order and volunteers, and we'll be good to go. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You do a great job, Dede.
Thank you.
Any additional comment or discussion? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. We adjourn the Solid Waste Management Board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Order to our commissioner meeting. David Elsner with Boys and Girls Club. Good morning. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, good afternoon or morning. My name is David Elster. I'm the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Hancock County. The long and short of this is I went before the Budget Committee for the County Council last month with a request to help subsidize our summer camp. We ran into a funding emergency due to a gap in Lily's endowments coverage that they traditionally have annually provided us. They executed about an 18-month gap in the middle of their funding cycles, which kind of left us high and dry. So we are coming before the county to ask for some emergency funding to help us cover that gap before we resume that funding, which we should be getting next January. So this would be to help cover the expenses related to putting on our summer camp for about the 150 youth countywide that would attend that. I'm here to answer any questions.
Into the city?
I have, yes. The city is graciously helping us out with some funding related to our HVAC. We had an HVAC emergency, ended up about $90,000, and the city is helping us out with a portion of that.
Have you filled out, we have a grant form, I believe. Eric, that's not opioid.
It would be, yeah, we could gear it towards opioid, or it could just be just a grant request.
Well, just a grant, just a general grant request to be, get the who's, what, when, where's, and why's.
Sure.
Is this something too that it sounds like you're going to get funded by Lilly Endowment later? Is this something that they will fund what you're missing now and you'll have that and reimburse, or?
No, that would be for next year. The way this was initially positioned to the county council is that this would come from the food and beverage tax.
We can send out an application. You can send that to us, and then we make sure that the
Grants Committee
yep,
would look at that. We've got a meeting coming up shortly, so.
And what that fund application does for us is lets you fill it out, lets us be transparent to the State Board of Accounts and the taxpayers as to why, that they know that we're just not willy-nilly, giving out funds everywhere. But we want to be responsive to your needs. Mm-hmm. What's the date that you would need that? Like drop dead?
Well, the camp would start at the last week in May. Yeah.
So I think if we can get that application to them,
sure,
make a decision.
Okay.
get that out to you today. Does Sarah have your contact info?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
If that's okay with you guys.
We can look at we can look and see what they've got. So, Don Higgins.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
Don Higgins, Senior Architect with the Etica Group. I'm here for the window and door, courthouse window and door proposal.
Mm-hmm.
I can run through the proposal with you, hit the high points and questions.
Okay.
So last year around this time, I did a walkthrough with Corey Taylor, walked through the courthouse and reviewed the do the scope of the work and then provide the proposal. This year it was asked to provide the proposal just for the windows. This year we were asked to actually add the doors in as well. Had Toby Winiger from our company came out and did another review, revised proposal to include the doors as well. So that updated proposal, I don't know if you have it.
Yes.
Okay, so it defines our full scope of services from pre-design, design through construction administration. It has a preliminary schedule. We have estimated at approximately 10 and a half months from of our work, which is a site survey, and then site survey, which is meaning like measuring the existing windows, and then till the end of construction. And then it also has a preliminary budget. I believe you have that at the end. So we've done similar projects in 2023, 2024. We did the window and door replacement for Johnson County Courthouse. For 2024 and 2025, we did the window replacement for Boone County Courthouse. So we were able to provide, I think, a very detailed proposal and a thorough schedule and budget based on our experience with the Have any questions?
The doors, copper now, would they be the same type door?
I think we are looking into the option of preserving the doors.
They can be repaired, they'll be repaired. If not, then no.
Possibly, and then if not, then replacing with a very similar.
And
door.
that would be probably, so this price includes restoration, not as much, right, for the doors only.
Somewhat.
I think they're comparable.
Okay.
It's just a different,
Okay.
yeah, it's just a different.
And originally, I think the original bid to do the tuck pointing and windows, it was 2.5, wasn't it?
They were around $1 million a piece. Yeah.
So
Somewhere there. I do have a question about the window replacement. So when you do the windows, are we going to have to use scaffolding to replace those windows?
Typically use a lift.
Okay, that was my question, because when we did the tuck pointing and masonry, other masonry repairs, limestone repair, the initial bid out was for scaffolding. The contractor realized that there was savings in getting lifts, and since we didn't have that written into our contract, we didn't get the savings back. So I just was wondering if there was going to be that kind of insight into this, where if you had to use scaffolding, the scaffolding was really half of the cost of the whole project. You know, what kind of savings do we get out of a lift? And then making sure that if that was an option, we wanted that option written into contractual agreements so we could get those savings back. So if you say lifts and that's that option, then that's...
For windows, because they're a smaller area, lift can handle that area of the lift can take care of that scope of work. For a whole building facade, that might be different, might assess. But we've assessed this with the other counties, and each time the contractor has opted to do lifts for the windows.
Okay.
So this is going to come out of the 2026. True? That's what, so as soon as we get that taken care of, then we'll be in contact. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
John Jokantas.
Morning.
Good morning.
Well, with no tie, we got a nice jacket.
No
on.
money.
Yeah.
No money.
A little bit of money.
All right.
A little bit of money. So, my first item is to replace our UPS backup batteries. Originally, this was going to be a 2027 project, but due to them not being as stable as we would like them to be, we're going to make we'd like to make the change more quickly. The county council has an additional appropriation in front of them on Wednesday, or, well, the following Wednesday, to, for the money to do this, since we did not have it budgeted originally. So it's just, they already advertised. It'll just be approved at the next meeting. So this would be based on this would be pending the approval.
Council approval.
Yep.
The 7,400?
What's that?
The 7,400?
No, the total cost for the normal business hours should be on page 3 of 6, which is $16,549.77. And that's what.
Just normal business hours. We don't do the weekends and holidays.
No. They do a pretty good job when we had them do it last time, so, which was 5 or 6 years ago.
I'm sorry, did I miss why you're replacing?
They're starting to deteriorate a little bit faster. It was supposed to, like I said, we were going to do it in 2027, but they're starting to deteriorate a little bit faster, so.
Council make any mention to where they may pay that out?
It'll be out of my 911 lit.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll come out of our building maintenance and 911 lit.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve price quotation number 000969766 from DC Group regarding our battery replacements in the amount not to exceed $16,549.77.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the replacement of backup batteries for 911 in the amount of $16,549.77 pending council's approval as presented. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Then I have an out-of-state travel that's in your packet as well, and that's to go to Orlando, Florida for public safety facility planning. So I figure if we're already looking at this, then I'd like to, the two-day classroom.
Here you go.
And we get to go see other facilities in the Orlando area since those are built pretty solid. So.
Make a motion that we approve permission to travel out of state for John Jokantas. He's traveling in March to Orlando, Florida with an amount not to exceed $1,090.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve John Jokantas to travel to participate in the public safety facility planning from 325 to 327 in 2026. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you, and I'll bring back lots of information. So, and then I'll probably see you in the next meeting. So.
Okay.
Bring back some sunshine and warm weather, would you?
I'd like to see spring early.
It'll be nice when we're there. It should be.
Okay.
Harry, can you go ahead? That is the.
Oh, for the elevator?
Don't.
Just anywhere here?
Yeah, come right over here.
Okay.
I remember it's wood.
There we go. And here you go. Take that with you. There we go. Marcia Moore.
Sorry about that. They stuck.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this has changed a little bit with what I was originally sent to the commissioners for to think about in your packets prior. It's regarding window tinting for our, after the, backtrack 1 second. After our training for the active shooter event, it was suggested that our safe rooms be tinted so that they were a one view out. That initial thought was based on kind of the top level, and that was top level of the building here, prior to having an opportunity to meet with the department heads or staff in the lower level. So the revised quote from Etheridge was approximately $3,200. However, Bernie just said to me, hey, Marcia, what would it be if, he could get his windows tinted downstairs in the basement? I didn't realize there were that many people going down in the basement. His windows are the smaller ones, and Etheridge has quoted pretty much $75 a door for those ones with smaller. So my request then is, since this is a building window project, if the commissioners would pay for that out of either a bond or your building maintenance fund that you may have, not to exceed $3,500. That allows for if there's been a door missed in one office or another. So for instance, the quote changed a little bit simply because there were some doors downstairs that we didn't originally account for. For instance, we kind of did 2 doors for each exterior here. And then when we actually got looking into the office specific for their safe room, they needed, maybe 1 or 2 doors more than what we initially decided. So like I said, the $3,200 was what was last quoted, but if you add the 3 doors that Bernie wants to add, that's approximately $3,425. And then if we allow for just 1 more door in case we've missed something, then if it doesn't exceed $3,500, that should cover everyone's safe rooms with this tinting.
It's come about after the
After the training.
shooter, and I think it's a good idea.
Me too.
Simply because if we save 1 life, it's already paid for itself. So
Exactly.
So
The only thing we would probably need, can we strike the 3,200 and insert 3,500 manually here? Or would we be better off having a new invoice with the correct amount?
I would go ahead and request an updated invoice.
I can do
But you
that.
can go ahead and approve that amount now.
Yeah, not to exceed.
I make a recommendation that we approve, the invoice number on this is 234.761 dated 2/11 of 26 to Etheridge Motorsports and Racing LLC in an amount not to exceed $3,500, and the invoice, as stated, is $3,200, will be updated prior to signature to
Thank you.
$3,500.
Second.
okay, we have a motion on the floor for window tinting, not to exceed $3,500. Did you say?
But that says 32.
Okay, yeah.
You're not going to sign
No,
that yet.
no. But at the same time, any further discussion? Okay, motion on the floor. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
All right, thank you. And
Opposed, same sign.
I'll have Mr. Etheridge get us that new quote. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Great.
Sheriff. I moved that around.
Okay.
Mary.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Mary Zerbach, I'm representing owner's rep for the Sheriff's Department on the Sheriff's Maintenance Correction Facility Maintenance Building. We received yesterday, which I distributed to the 3 of you, and Greg Garatos, I should back up. We have a approved agreement with Armong for the build, operate, transfer for this building. We approved some pre-construction dollars of $350,000, which we have been paying upwards of, we've been paying upwards of 4 invoices, I believe, to date on that work. We are 100% designed. We did public bidding through the month of January and February. Garmong received the bids back. They put together a packet, like I said, I distributed it to you folks yesterday, of what the final GMP cost would be. We did have a meeting with Greg Garatos. We submitted it to him. He reviewed it fully. He did have some questions, which we submitted to Garmong yesterday. They have Sheriff and I have been going back and forth in emails with them. We're hoping to get some of the dollars sorted out, but we have a pretty good idea of what this guaranteed max price for construction will be. So we're here today to inform you where we're at. We do, construction pricing usually is only held by subs for 30 days. So we do need to act quickly or the prices could potentially go up. The construction industry is feeling about a 4% inflation per quarter. So it's important that we act on the pricing that we have. The sheriff and I met with Garmong's project manager and estimators, as well as our designer yesterday for a couple hours in his office. We went through the pricing. We do have good reputable contractors that have submitted prices. So we're very comfortable with this. Like I said, they gave us some voluntary alternates to deduct the price. The sheriff is working through some of those. We believe we can take upwards of $50,000 of those. So we're hoping to have this agreement ready. We would like to go, and we're trying to get in to the council's meeting tomorrow, just to do the same thing. Inform them where we're at, tell them where the cost is roughly going to be, but it's very close to what you saw on that document that we had distributed to you.
So will the 16th work?
Say that again?
16th?
Yes, the 16th would actually
be. It gives everybody a chance to go through it, and that way we're not just jumping on something, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, it seems like a sense of urgency, which, I mean, it kind of is a little bit just because of locking the contractors into their price, and that's kind of why we're trying to roll it a little bit quicker than anticipated.
And
we just got this information.
We've been talking about this for months, so I mean,
Yeah,
we're
almost.
aware of it. It just give everybody time to go through it. So.
Understandable, yes.
Mary, would you say in the end, the biggest expense here is really just the concrete?
That and it's a prefabricated metal structure, which is less expensive than structural steel. But the prefabricated metal structure is another large cost. Then the concrete, and then probably the earthwork and drainage around the facility. We are utilizing the existing utilities, which is great. We're assuming that we will be able to forego the permit cost from the county. So yeah, I think that it's a.
We're not gonna make you pay for the county.
So, but no, I do think that we're as skinny up as on this as we can. I will tell you, it is a very competitive market to get workers out there. It's the economy's very booming in construction right now. So I'm glad that we've got some good subs. We're going to get some quality work, and we're going to keep track to make sure that we spend every dollar wisely. The one thing I will tell you that I was excited about, there is a construction contingency in there of just under $100,000. That is our money. So we will get that back if it's not used. It'll be written in the agreement. And for the contractor to work efficiently, I'm not saying we have to approve every dollar, but we certainly need to know about how it's being spent and making sure that it's additional costs for means and methods or things that will benefit the quality of the building, not just at their sole discretion.
Okay. All right. Good. We will take a look at that, and we'll see you on the 16th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
Nick Layman.
Morning. Good morning. I'm the Assistant Chief of the Hancock County Probation Department. I'm just here to advise you of a termination of a contract. We had a contract with the Progress House for recovery housing. We went back, looked at how we utilized that last year, and decided that that was not something we wanted to go forward with. We spoke with the judges about that. They agreed. It was a cost of about $27,000, and we were able to cancel that at the mid-year point this year.
27,000? I thought we cut that down.
What's that?
Because I remember going with Josh and talking with these people. We lowered those beds, I mean, from 8 to 6, and then it was supposed to be like $16,000 instead of.
The contract that I was operating off of that I have in front of me was a total cost of $27,000 for the whole year. We made the first payment already, but we can cancel it at the first May point and save the $13,500.
Okay.
What will you do to replace those beds?
Actually, we look back and we didn't utilize a single bed in 2025.
So there's no value even saving any of
No.
that.
Correct. And also, the way that the state is navigating the funds to pay for their treatment is different now, and we don't have any play in that.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Miriam Rawls.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Mary Morales. I'm appearing today as president of our County Park Board regarding the proposed name modification of NineStar Park at Spring Lake. I'm here to mediate the public request between the county and NineStar Connect and to request that the county-owned land, currently known as NineStar Park at Spring Lake, be officially and publicly renamed as NineStar Park at Sugar Creek. The park's original name was established through a verbal agreement with NineStar Connect in recognition of their generous donation of this land. That's located at 3212 West 100 South. And during the Parks and Recreation public input session on February 19th of this year, and as reported in the Daily Reporter, the town of Spring Lake requested that the name be removed from the park title. So Commissioner McDaniel appropriately contacted George Polinsky at NineStar Connect, and they have agreed to that modification. There is no recorded deed restrictions regarding the park's name, so today's action would simply formalize the agreed upon name change and place it into the public record. So I respectfully request your approval to officially adopt the new name NineStar Park at Sugar Creek.
Make a motion that we approve the name change from NineStar Park at Spring Lake to NineStar Park at Sugar Creek.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor and a second to approve the renaming of NineStar Park at Spring Lake to NineStar Park at Sugar Creek. Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. I would like to put a plug in that the survey for the park and any amenities therein is still live until this Friday, and the survey can be found on our Parks and Recreation Board webpage. So that data for the park will be gathered to finalize our 5-year master plan, and hopefully people will still look to answer those questions so we can get that data, that much needed data. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Before you take off, Miriam, did Kayla Brooks reach out to you regarding appearing before the Plan Commission in the end of March regarding some questions that we had?
I can certainly do that.
Yeah, I didn't know if she reached out, but just that's a fourth Tuesday at 6:30. We had quite a house full at the Planning Commission, and they had a lot of questions that we really couldn't answer. We just didn't have enough information, so it'd probably be best if you were here to answer those questions.
I can do that. Thank you for asking. Okay.
Thank you.
Happy to.
Well, we're just housekeeping at this point in time. Board appointments, did we ever get those?
Nope, we're right here.
Okay.
I make a motion that we appoint John M. Ritter, DDS, reappoint to a 4-year term to the Board of Health, as well as Darla Baker, a reappointment to a 4-year term on the Board of Health.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to appoint John M. Ritter to a 4-year term to the Board of Health, and Darla Baker to a 4-year term to the Board of Health. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Okay. I make a motion that we appoint to the Community Corrections Advisory Board Wayne Addison from Adult Probation, his term 1/1/2026 to 12/31/29. Janine Gray, Commissioner, from 1/1/26 to 12/31/27, and George Philhauer, Educational Administrator, 1/1/26 to 12/31/2030.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor for board appointments. Would be Wayne Addison, adult probation, from 1/1/2026 to 12/31/2029. Janine Gray, commissioner, 1/1/2026 to 12/31/2027. And George Philhauer to educational administrator from 1/1/2026 to 12/31/2030. Any further discussions? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We should have some change order and disbursements. No, just make motion.
This is for the Amplify building, change order number 7 from Veritas Advisors. Change order number 7 includes the following change requests. CR 061 Automotive Lab Infrastructure Clarification approved on November 12th of 25. CR number 119 Bus Plugs and Fuse Reducers Material Only approved on February 6, 25. And CR number 120, Bus Plugs Remainder, no GRC, approved on February 6, 2025. The funds for the change order will be allocated using the owner contingency and will increase Meyer Nasium's contract amount by $262,846. All those summaries are listed within the change order.
We have a motion on, Second. Okay, we have a motion and second on the floor for change order number 7, dated February 18th, as presented. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve affidavit for construction fund disbursement. Request number 22, Hancock County Redevelopment Authority, Redevelopment District, and Lease Rental Bonds Series 2025. This is for disbursement is submitted to you pursuant to Section 3.1 of the trust indenture dated February 1, 2025 between Hancock County Redevelopment Authority and the Huntington National Bank, now Argent Institutional Trust Company.
Second.
We have a request number 22.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here.
I got it right here. It's between Argent Institutional Trust Company and Hancock County Redevelopment Authority, and as presented. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Which one? Who are you? Which one of you is the president?
That's me now, isn't it? Of the
Redevelopment Authority.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Had a meeting since you.
No, the only time we ever change it. If we need to change it.
Well, you guys can just both sign it.
Do you guys have anything else? Do we have anything, does anyone from the public have anything to say? Please come on.
Morning, Commissioners. I know it's been a long meeting, so I'll make this quick, about 3 minutes. I'm Leah Letterman. This is Kylie Blaylock. Our cohorts, Amanda Galbraith and Paul Overhauser, could not be here today, unfortunately, but we are here to request that the Hancock County Board of Commissioners direct the Plan Commission to issue a 1-year moratorium on data center development in Hancock County until further research can be conducted on appropriate zoning, as well as impact on local environment and infrastructure. The AI industry's gold rush for land and power is overwhelming local governments nationwide, outpacing existing local law and zoning ordinances. The operational needs of data centers are still in a state of flux, and thus it is unclear what the local capacity needs to be to fulfill them. Environmental studies are at best premature, and due to an unregulated industry's reporting, may not reflect the full scope and magnitude of issues. Last year, Surge Development withdrew their data center project after significant public opposition, and this board announced there are other areas of the county that are zoned for data centers, and we do not believe the proposed site is the right location for this project. We contend there is no area or zoning in this county appropriate for a project of this unprecedented scale and use, especially one with so many unknowns. Shoehorning a data center into industrial zoning doesn't work. The utility demand and environmental impact is fundamentally different. Current zoning requires no special exceptions for a data center. A data center may proceed without an abatement if they need to or if they want to. Thus, there are situations in which you and your constituents have no recourse. Having the Plan Commission hold a public hearing and vote on a moratorium is our only protection. Hancock County has the historical opportunity to stand with other Indiana counties that elected to protect their residents and resources. A moratorium isn't against growth or progress. It is a standard tool for responsible governance when we're dealing with AI industry projects. To preserve the quality and life and safety of our residents, we need to consider ways we can establish clear and consistent guardrails and agreements with data centers. Hancock County is familiar with developers neglecting their contracts, and consequences in such situations has been complicated. Proper measures, protective measures are essential to protect us, and agreements made with an entity from the self-regulated AI industry, which has minimal government guidelines for operation. Data centers are notorious energy and water consumers, oftentimes with homeowners and businesses footing the bill. They also pose environmental issues. Although the AI industry is actively seeking solutions for new technologies and methods, those solutions bring new concerns. We are also not yet certain what the effect of data centers in surrounding communities will have on us and our resources, and we should not be in competition for those. It behooves Hancock County to wait until there's been more troubleshooting before we allow a data center here. And AI is a trend. The bubble will pop, just like it did with spec warehousing. And if we're not careful, we may end up sacrificing land and resources for something that will have moved on in a decade. AI's frontier system doubles every 4 to 7 months. So how soon will this technology be obsolete, and what will we do with the ghost structures left behind? And there's issues with the lack of transparency of these projects, from misleading language and industry jargon to NDAs. The public and you deserve to know when, where, and how they're planned, and to know their true infrastructure costs. Commissioners, this is a historical opportunity to be leaders for other Indiana counties and states, to do the right thing for current and future voters. Please have the Planning Commission pause any available data center approvals and draft specific data center zoning ordinances. Our proposed moratorium allows for responsible land, energy, and water use while collaborating with residents and experts, because Hancock County deserves to have a future built with us, not imposed upon us. And to that end, I know you guys are so busy and you don't want to do this, but I did bring some research that we've done. I actually made an annotated bibliography, and I have clickable links on it. I can email it to you so it's easier to navigate. We also have an exhaustive list of questions that Kylie has prepared that should be asked whenever there's a data center sniffing around. So can I?
Yes.
No one felt slighted?
Thank you.
Dang it.
And sorry, I bought the cheap toner, so you can tell the size.
Thanks, Leah.
we will definitely take this under consideration and check out all our options.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
I was going to say something.
Okay. Oh,
All right, thank you. I'm Kylie Blaylock. I just live in Charlottesville, but I'm here with Leah and to support the idea of a one-year moratorium on data centers. But I wanted to be really clear about what we're talking about and what we're not talking about. And we're not talking about the data centers that we've lived with for decades, that we pull our pictures from the cloud, that run Facebook and run our streaming services. If you wanted to see one of those, you could see that in Carmel, and you'd probably roll right past it because they're unconspicuous and modern and they're quiet. What we are talking about are AI data centers. They're entirely different. They're not comparable to any business that we've ever seen here. And how are they different? Well, Amazon's Project Rainier in New Carlisle runs on 2,200 megawatts of electricity. That's 2,200. To put that in perspective, if every home, business, and facility in Hancock County were running at the same time, we would pull about 140 megawatts. So Amazon's single facility goes 16 times more than that. On water, the LEAP project in Lebanon is already pulling its water supply from more than 50 miles away, and that impacts Geist Reservoir, and that's the same one that we even access. And that's not Lebanon's local water source, that's regional. That LEAP project isn't even fully operational, and a data center just down I-70 in Henry County was approved. And we don't have the full scope of how we'll be impacted yet. These projects are being evaluated one at a time in isolation, but we all share the same grid and the water table and the same infrastructure. So we haven't even felt the impact, the full impact of these local projects. So what even happens if one comes to Hancock County? How do we have the water to support it? Do we have the grid capacity? What's the cost to our ratepayers, taxpayers of this county? What resources are we giving away that we haven't even measured yet? And we don't know. And so when it comes to protecting the people of the county, just saying we don't know, it's really not acceptable. So we don't have the ordinances or the regulations for something of this scale yet. We need to understand what it means for us to even coexist with a facility like this before one's at our door. So that's why we're asking for a one-year moratorium on data centers. And it's not to stop progress, it's not to stand in the way of technology, but it's just to protect the county and the people here while we set up the proper guardrails. So just 1 year to do things right. That's all we're asking. Thank you.
thank you. Is there anyone else? All right. Oh.
Public comment, but.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got approached yesterday by the Purdue Extension Office. They need to do some remodeling over there with 4 other data lines that are going into a closet. It's in a furnace room. It stays about 90, 95 degrees all the time, so it's going to burn up that equipment eventually. We need to get the server out of that room, but they also wanted to move the data cables and everything else. But if we get the server out, I think the switches will handle the heat, but it's up to you. It's our building. So it's Purdue's equipment, but it's our building. So we need we need to move the server for sure. We want to remove the cables and things. That's entirely up to the board.
That all on the county, or does Purdue?
It would be on us because the cables and stuff are part of the building.
And what are we looking at?
It's a good question. I just got it yesterday, so I'm guessing between $5,000 and $10,000 to move all that stuff, to move all the cables and everything.
That's just right after we've put it in there.
Right. And if we just move the server, it's going to be $500 to do that. But
well, for sure, move the server.
Yes.
But let's take a look at the cables and stuff like that and see what that's going to run us.
Okay. Well,
okay.
I'll get a quote for that. So,
all right.
So Corey wanted me to approach and let you know that.
All right.
So, okay.
Make sure that's the final.
Yeah.
Final spot.
Yes, definitely. Our stuff is good. We moved ours back in the summer, so we're good.
Oh, this is theirs. Let them move.
This is Purdue's equipment, so.
Thank you.
All right.
Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion to adjourn on the floor. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No, same sign. Motion carries.